So Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, is the new spin-off prequel film in the Star Wars universe. Just had Force Awakens last year, directed by Gareth Edwards, and so it follows the story of the original rebels who go and steal the plans for the Death Star, which then launches the events of A New Hope, starring Felicity Jones, Diego Luna, Ben Mendelsohn, Donnie Yen, Mads Mikkelsen, Alan Tudyk, Riz Ahmed, Yijing Ven, and Forrest Whitaker, all doing a great job. So yeah, about those group of rebels who come together. We focus on Felicity Jones's character Yen Erso, who's a sort of abandoned orphan criminal around the galaxy, and then she's recruited by the rebels to kind of get these plans because she has something which can help lead him. And then with then meeting all the rest of the supporting cast, they come together to eventually take on the Empire, and it's great. It is really good. Really bringing the spirit of Star Wars alive. It is a bit rough around the edges. The first and middle acts of the film are a bit slow and averagely entertaining, but they're building up to the absolute climax. I'll come to that in a minute. One unique thing is that it is very rare, it is hard, an inescapable problem with sequels, is how, especially for a franchise like Star Wars, that originally came out in the late 70s and 80s, and we were so mind blown and loved that, it's hard to sort of continue that franchise 30 or 40 years later, which was one of the problems I had with The Force Awakens, was that because of such the difference in filmmaking, directing and tone and atmosphere, it's hard to kind of replicate that exact atmosphere, and it's an inescapable problem, and I couldn't really quite feel that in The Force Awakens, but I feel it here because Rogue One is a blend of old and new, and it's absolutely brilliant, capturing the fans' kind of spirit and faith in Star Wars perfectly. And this all originates in the third act. The third act makes and steals the entire film, and you are yes, that is why we love Star Wars, and it is brilliant. It is awesome. And so this is an original film on its own, with its own story, so it's not massively part of it's in the Star Wars universe, but it isn't part of the sort of ongoing Star Wars story, and I absolutely loved it. I do prefer it to The Force Awakens. I do like The Force Awakens, but I do have a lot of issues with The Force Awakens, but I was yes, this is what I love. And in the first few acts, even though it is fairly average, it's got great character development. All the cast do a really good job, and it's got appropriate amount of jokes, which is good, because one of the issues I had with The Force Awakens was that I thought there were too many jokes, but this one had an appropriate amount, mostly coming from the obnoxious droid K2SO, but it does a great job basically impersonating C-3PO pretty much, but it all does really good, really sort of Gareth Edwards shows us, although we've got the new Star Wars last year, we still believe in the originals. We still find their great originality that George Lucas introduced us to in 1977, and it brings that alive for the fans, which is great, because what I really loved about it, and it just really does pull that out of the bag in the final act. And basically Disney are kind of introducing now, because they've brought back the Star Wars franchise, they're just going to do as much as they can to squeeze a lot of money out of our pockets. But if they make a damn good film out of it, well then it's worth it, and really capturing the essence of Star Wars, well then that's great as well. And so this is kind of introducing the rest of the spin-off films that should be on the way. We've got the Han Solo movie and the Boba Fett movie as well, apparently. Yeah, but it is all really good. It is very rough around the edges, but it is absolutely great. I really enjoyed it and think it's absolutely brilliant. Rogue One, A Star Wars Story 9.0.